dragon, in the mythologies, legends, and folktales of various cultures, a large lizard or serpent-like creature, conceived in some traditions as evil and in others as beneficent. In medieval Europe, dragons were usually depicted with wings and a barbed tail and as breathing fire. In Greece the word dracon, from which the English word was derived, was used originally for any large serpent, cc, serpent, and the dragon of mythology, whatever shape it later assumed, remained essentially a snake. The dragon's form varied from the earliest times. The Chaldean dragon Tiamat had 4 legs, a scaly body, and wings, whereas the biblical dragon of Revelation, the old serpent, was many-headed like the Greek Hydra. Because they not only possessed both protective and terror-inspiring qualities but also had decorative effigies, dragons were early used as warlike emblems, as indicated in the story of King Agamemnon, from Homer's Iliad, who had on his shield a blue 3-headed snake, and in the practice among Norse warriors of painting dragons on their shields and carving dragons' heads on the prows of their ships. In England before the Norman conquest, the dragon was chief among the royal ensigns in war, having been instituted as such, according to Arthurian legend, by Uther Pendragon, King Arthur's father. In the 20th century the dragon was officially incorporated in the armorial bearings of the Prince of Wales. In East Asian mythologies the dragon retains its prestige and is conceived as a beneficent creature. The Chinese dragon, Lung, represents Yang, the principle of heaven, activity, and maleness in the yin-yang of Chinese cosmology. From ancient times it was the emblem of the imperial family, and until the founding of the Republic, 1911, the dragon adorned the Chinese flag. The dragon came to Japan, with much of the rest of Chinese culture, and there, as Ryu or Tatsu, it became capable of changing its size at will, even to the point of becoming invisible. Both Chinese and Japanese dragons, though regarded as powers of the air, are usually wingless. They are among the deified forces of nature in Taoism. Dragons also figure in the ancient mythologies of other Asian cultures, including those of Korea, India, and Vietnam. The term dragon has no zoological meaning, but it has been applied in the Latin generic name Draco to a number of species of small lizards found in the Indo-Malayan region. The name is also popularly applied to the giant monitor, Varanus comodensis, discovered on Komodo Island and a few neighboring islands of the Lesser Sunda Islands of Indonesia. Sea serpent, mythological and legendary marine animal that traditionally resembles an enormous snake. The belief in huge creatures that inhabited the deep was widespread throughout the ancient world. In the Old Testament there are several allusions to a primordial combat between God and a monstrous adversary variously named Leviathan or Rahab. Although the references to Leviathan usually indicate a dragon-like creature, the name has also been used to denote a sea monster in general, sea dragon. Analogies to this combat are found throughout the ancient Middle East. Babylonian literature records a battle between the god Marduk and the multi-headed serpent dragon Tiamat, and in Hittite myth the weather god is victorious over the dragon Iluyankas. Similarly, a Canaanite poem from Ras Shamra, ancient Ugarit, in northern Syria records a battle between the god Baal and a monster called Leviathan. Although tales of sea serpents have continued to exist throughout the centuries, no animal has been captured so far that has not proved to belong to a previously well-known group. A large number of the well-authenticated stories of monstrous marine creatures seem to be explicable as incorrect observations of animals already well known. For example, a number of porpoises swimming one behind their other and rising regularly to take air might produce the appearance of a very large serpent-like creature progressing by a series of vertical undulations. Large masses of seaweed half awash often have been mistaken for some gigantic animal. Basking sharks, nematines, marine worms, ribbonfish or oarfish, wrigglecus, and sea lions have also been suggested as explanations of some so-called sea serpents. Giant squids, Archaeopteris species, are presumably the foundation on which many accounts are based. These animals, which may attain a total length of 50 feet, 15 meters, occasionally frequent the regions from which many accounts of sea serpents have come: Scandinavia, Denmark, the British Isles, and the eastern coasts of North America. One of these animals swimming at the surface with two enormously elongated arms trailing along through the water would produce almost exactly the picture that many of the strangely consistent independent accounts require: a general cylindrical shape with a flattened head, appendages on the head and neck, a dark color on top and a lighter shade beneath, progression steady and uniform, body straight but capable of being bent, and spouting water. Further, sperm whales are known to kill and devour Archaeopteris, and one of the most graphic accounts of the sea serpents speaks of it as in conflict with a whale around which it had thrown two coils and which it ultimately dragged below the surface. The history of sightings of freshwater monsters is lengthy, especially those of Loch Ness in northern Scotland. They have been the object of much investigation, all of it remaining inconclusive. While many people know that dragons are thought to guard hoards of treasure, there are also other myths that still surround the creature. One such myth is that dragon's blood held special properties that gave anyone with access to it unique opportunities. If, for example, a person was to dip a sword or knife into dragon blood and stab someone with it, their wound would never heal. However, not all things associated with dragon blood are bad. It is also thought that dragon blood gives a person the ability to see into the future. It is also thought that dragons from the Eastern world have the ability to change size and shape. In fact, most of the dragons from Eastern legends have the ability to change into human form at will. Dragons are one of the few monsters cast in mythology primarily as a powerful and fearsome opponent to be slain. They don't simply exist for their own sake, they exist largely as a foil for bold adventurers. Other mythical beasts such as trolls, elves and fairies interact with people,